Not too long ago, my brother called me up and asked me something that caught me completely off guard. He goes, "Have you ever heard of the webtoon True Beauty?" Now, I paused because, yeah, I had. In fact, I'd read it from start to finish. I'd been following True Beauty from its early days, back when it was just getting traction on Webtoon. I always appreciated what it was doing, tackling self-esteem, appearance, bullying, and all the messy stuff we don't always talk about. So hearing him bring it up, that surprised me. It's not exactly the kind of story I expected to hit his radar. Then he told me. I watched the anime. And that's when it clicked. This story isn't just living in webtoon land anymore, it's reaching new audiences and new formats through anime. If True Beauty is connecting with people who never touched a webtoon, that's worth talking about. So that's what we're doing today. I'm Night Ferox, and this video, we're going to dig into True Beauty anime, how it compares to the webtoon, what fans are saying, and what its adaptation means for the future of webtoon-based anime. Let's get into it. Now, before we dive too deep into the story, let's rewind for a second, because some of you watching might be wondering, what even is True Beauty? Well, before it became an anime or even a live-action K-drama, it was a webtoon by artist Yang. The story centers around Lim Jugyeong, a regular high school girl who gets bullied for not fitting into conventional beauty standards. One day, she discovers makeup and basically reinvents herself. Overnight, she goes from invisible to insta-famous. But of course, it's not just about foundation and eyeliner tutorials. Behind the glam, Jugyeong's still dealing with deep insecurity, social anxiety, and a very real fear of being seen without her mask. Add in two dramatically different male leads, Suho, the quiet, emotionally walled-off loner, and Seojun, the confident rebel with actual emotional depth, and you've got yourself the classic love triangle dynamic that fuels entire fandom wars. The webtoon mixes comedy, romance, mental health themes, and social commentary in a way that resonated with a lot of readers, including me. Fast forward to August 2024, and we get the anime adaptation. It ran for 13 episodes, wrapping up in October, and a second season has been confirmed. So yeah, the timing couldn't be better to talk about how the story made the jump from scrolling to streaming. So now that we know what True Beauty is, let's actually talk about the anime itself. Right off the bat, I'll say this. The True Beauty anime is more faithful to the webtoon than the K-drama ever was. And honestly, thank goodness. No weird plot rewrites, no romantic detours that never happened. The anime actually keeps its eyes on what made True Beauty work in the first place, Jugyeong's personal journey and her complicated relationships with Suho and Seojun. We still get the central message loud and clear. 1. Society's beauty standards are brutal. 2. Insecurity can't be covered with concealer forever. And 3. Love triangles make everything more stressful. But that doesn't mean it's perfect. The True Beauty anime reviews are honestly all over the place. Some fans are loving it. Others, not so much. It's one of those adaptations that somehow manages to please and frustrate the fandom at the same time. So, what are fans enjoying? First off, fans appreciate that the anime actually sticks to the source material. Compared to the K-drama, which went on a bunch of wild directions, the anime feels more grounded in the original story. Jugyeong is still Jugyeong, Suho and Seojun haven't been rewritten into different characters. That's already a win. And for a lot of longtime readers, they're just excited to see the story come to life. For many of us, it's surreal watching something we read on a phone screen years ago, now fully animated with voices, color, and music. And the romantic tension? Oh yeah, it's still there. People are still picking sides, Team Suho, Team Seojun. You know, the drill. But what's not landing? Let's be real, there are some very valid complaints too. The biggest one, the pacing. So many fans feel like the anime is rushing through major emotional moments. Things that took weeks to unfold in the webtoon are flying by in one single episode. It kind of feels like you're watching a highlight reel instead of a full story. Then there's Jugyeong's character depth. In the webtoon, we get to hear her thoughts, we see her insecurities, we feel her growth. In the anime, that inner dialogue is mostly gone, and without it, she can come off a little flat. Fans also wish side characters had more screen time. People love Sujin, Hee-kyung, even Seo-jun's bandmates, but the anime focuses so hard on the main triangle that everyone else kind of fades into the background. The tone shifts can also be jarring. 1 minute, you're watching a serious moment about bullying or self-worth, and the next, it's goofy comedy with chibi faces and dramatic zoom-ins. It doesn't always blend well. And finally, the animation is just okay. Not bad, not breathtaking, just fine. If you're coming in expecting MAPPA tier fight scenes or jaw-dropping visuals, you might be a little underwhelmed. So what's the verdict? If you're new to the story, the anime is still enjoyable. It's got drama, romance, a solid cast, and a message that hits home. But for those who read the webtoon, you might find yourself wishing for more depth, more time to breathe, more of what made the original special. Still, whether you're a fan or a critic, there's one thing we can all agree on. True beauty is part of something much bigger. This isn't just about one adaptation. It's about how webtoons are starting to break into the anime space and reshape what kind of stories get told. And that's what we're diving into next. So here's the thing. True Beauty isn't just a one-off case. It's not the only webtoon stepping into the anime spotlight. It's part of a much bigger shift that's been quietly building over the past 2 years. Webtoons are going mainstream and anime is starting to take notice. So why webtoons and why now? Let's break it down. First, webtoons are accessible, they're free, mobile friendly, and built for scrolling. Whether you're on your lunch break or pulling an all-nighter, it's easy to binge 5 or 50 episodes in one sitting. And second, the stories are good, like really good. Webtoon creators aren't afraid to tackle bold topics: mental health, identity, class, trauma, romance, revenge, you name it. There's a rawness and a modern edge to them that feels fresh, especially compared to more traditional manga. And of course, the visuals. Webtoons are often incredibly polished. They have amazing art styles that blend Eastern and Western aesthetics. They look like they're made to be animated. So naturally, anime studios started paying attention. And that's when companies started taking a chance. We're already seeing several big-name webtoons get anime adaptations. Tower of God, which is an action fantasy. It first dropped in 2020 and its second season aired in 2024. The God of High School, a martial arts story that features a lot of chaos with high energy, also aired in 2020. Noblesse, stylish vampire school drama, a cult favorite. Solo Leveling, arguably the crown jewel. It exploded in 2024 and set a whole new standard. Viral Hit, a gritty martial arts story that aired in spring 2024. The Beginning After the End, a high fantasy reincarnation story that's currently airing. And this list, it's growing. Right now, there are dozens of webtoon-based anime adaptations in production. New announcements are coming out every season. This isn't just a moment anymore, it's a full-blown movement. The wave of webtoon adaptations is doing a few things. One, it's diversifying anime content. We're seeing more slice of life, romance, fantasy, and psychological drama, right alongside the traditional shonen action titles. It's introducing global voices into a traditionally Japan-centric space. Most of these webtoons are Korean. Some are written by international creators. The stories bring a wider perspective, and that's pushing the anime medium in new directions. And finally, it's bringing in a whole new audience. A lot of webtoon readers aren't typical anime fans, but now that their favorite webtoons are getting animated, they're showing up, watching, and talking about it. So where do we go from here? The big question is, can anime studios keep up? Webtoons are fast-paced, visually rich, and often long-running. Adapting them properly means committing to more than just a flashy 12-episode season. It means pacing things right, honoring character arcs, keeping the emotional depth that made people fall in love with the webtoon in the first place. True Beauty is a perfect case study. It shows both the potential and the pitfalls of adapting a popular webtoon. And it raises the question, are these adaptations just going to be surface level versions, or can they grow into something that truly represents the original? Only time, and maybe a few more seasons, will tell. But one thing's clear, webtoons are here to stay, and they're changing anime in ways we're only beginning to see. So, where does all this leave us? Well, True Beauty may not be a perfect adaptation, but it's a meaningful one. It shows what happens when a story that was built for scrolling gets a second life on screen. It shows what's possible when a webtoon is allowed to stay true to its themes, even if the execution isn't flawless. And yeah, it's a little rushed. Some parts feel like they missed the mark, but it's still kind of amazing to see this story, one that meant something to me personally, reach people like my brother, who never would have read the webtoon, but still connected to it through the anime. That is the power of adaptation done mostly right. It opens doors, but more importantly, True Beauty is part of something much bigger. We're living in a moment where webtoons are no longer living quietly in niche spaces. They're being animated, shared, streamed, and brought into the global conversation. And with series like The Beginning After the End, Solo Leveling, and Tower of God already out there and dozens more on the way, we're only just getting started. The question now is, what kind of stories will get told next? And will anime studios keep learning, evolving, and doing justice to the voices behind those webtoons? Time will tell. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe for more anime/webtoon deep dives, and tell me, what did you think of the True Beauty anime? And are there any webtoons you're hoping get adapted next? Let's talk about it in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'm Night Ferox, and as always, thanks for watching.